There's so much news. We're going to have to do a lightning round of news today. But first, I'm going to crack open a beer at noon. I'm drinking on the job, and I can. You know why?
Do tell.
It's non-alcoholic beer.
Ooh.
From our good friends at Athletic Brewing Company. This is the Golden, which is very light and crisp. I like the IPA a lot, too. We have a deal with our friends at Athletic Brewing Company, non-alcoholic beers. They are so tasty. Our code is breakfast all day in all caps. You get 50% off of your first month's Athletic Club subscription. You get $10 off if you order on the website. If you order $50 or more worth of beer, which sounds like a totally doable prospect, I think.
Sure.
You get free shipping. Super Bowl is coming. Maybe you want to bring something and not be hammered. Athletic Brewing Company. So I'm going to drink on the job, but like in a healthy way, not like I used to.
And you will not be shotgunning during the episode either. So
I was really good at beer bongs and keg stands when I was in college. I'm short and I have a low center of gravity.
Beer pong came later. Like that was when I was in college, not a thing yet. So, we just played quarters.
Yes, I was good at quarters too. Anyway, but we have news also. So
Yes.
much news going on this week. David Crosby died.
Yes.
Yes,
I
at age
interviewed
81.
him in 1989.
Tell me about that.
And it was his first time coming back to Dallas since going to jail in Dallas. So it was kind of a thing. But he was great, super charming. And I definitely learned that if you're interviewing somebody about their book and you ask them a question about something that really proves you read the book, they'll be thrilled.
I'm sure, because I understand that he could be a tough interview. He could be warm and generous, but also like if you rubbed him the wrong way with a dumb question, he could be merciless.
Absolutely. Yeah. But no, he was, I had a lovely time with him. Also, he's kind of a Nepo baby because his father was legendary cinematographer Floyd Crosby, who shot High Noon and I want to say Nanook of the North, maybe, but like, Pajama Party, a lot of movies.
Oscar-winning cinematographer. Yeah. And also David Crosby was in some movies himself. He was in Hook.
Oh, that's right.
He made some movies as well. Yeah. So RIP to him, a long life, incredibly influential with Crosby, Stills and Nash and
The Byrds.
CSNY and the Byrds. And I've had all those songs in my head for a long time. So I grew up listening to all that music because my dad loved all that stuff. Alec Baldwin is going to be charged with involuntary manslaughter, with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in connection with the fatal shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the set of the Western Rust. This happened in October of 2021. We've all kind of been waiting around to see what's going to happen with this investigation. But in Santa Fe, they announced yesterday that they plan to charge him and the armorer with involuntary manslaughter, and he's getting charged with 2 counts, one as an actor, as the person who was holding the gun, and one as a producer.
Yeah, this is very murky legal territory. I'm sure this is going to be the kind of case that becomes precedent in a lot of ways because obviously he picked up what he believed to be a prop gun, and that was placed in his hand by the armorer, who clearly didn't know what they were doing. But as the producer, he technically hired the armorer, so we'll see how that plays out.
Right. A whole chain of command, a whole like checklist of things that should have happened and did not.
Right.
And the first AD already has pleaded guilty and clearly is cooperating. And so, so that's happening. So we will follow that. Julian Sands, as of this recording, still missing. He went hiking a week ago in Mount Baldy. We've had crazy storms here in Southern California for the past week. He is an avid hiker, outdoorsman, has spoken very poetically about how he feels truly happy in the mountains. So he was Sundance has begun. Alonso, you are in the throes of Sundance coverage as